Hi, my name is Matthias. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this batteries and fuel cells session, and I will talk today about developing battery materials and fuel cell materials with GeoDict 2021. A short remark to my person before I come to the actual talk. Since 2018, I'm heading the battery and fuel cells business area together with my colleague Ilona. And if you have any questions or comments to this talk or about GeoDict for developing battery and fuel cells materials, feel free to contact me anytime. Secondary lithium-ion batteries consist of different materials, and all of these materials have a very complex microstructure. And so the challenges for material design are just as complex. You want to reach a high energy density, and you want to have the capability for fast charging of the battery, especially for e-mobility. But a good performance and fast charging often causes mechanical stress and aging. Same goes for the fuel cell, where you have a stack of different materials that all have a very complex microstructure as well. And here, the challenges for material design are that you have to ensure good gas permeability and water management, good thermal and electrical conductivity, while the whole cell operates at elevated temperatures of about 350 K. This, of course, causes mechanical stress and aging as well. The first question is why you should use GeoDict to tackle these challenges for materials design. Well, with the unique features of GeoDict, you can realize and support the complete workflow of materials research and development on the microscale digitally. You can optimize your materials to improve their performance, lifetime, and safety. You can even understand relationships that are usually not accessible via experiments. With this digital approach, you can save cost and time for experiments. And finally, you can make a more targeted selection of your next prototypes, reducing your time to market for your new material. The next question, of course, is how to do all this with GeoDict. To answer this, I will guide you through the top 5 features for batteries and fuel cells in GeoDict 2021. This talk aims on giving you examples and ideas how to use GeoDict for your materials development. So the first point on the agenda is about how to create realistic statistical digital twins of battery and fuel cell materials. What you can see here in this first example are the segmented nano-CT scans of a graphite anode and an NMC cathode. The import and the segmentation has been done with GeoDict. Those two materials are standard active materials for battery application. When we take a closer look at the microstructure of the electrodes, we can see that here we can distinguish between the solid material phase and the pore phase. But we cannot distinguish between the active material and the binder and carbon black domain. This is often the case in nano or micro CT scans or in FIB-SEM scans, because in these scans the active material phase and the CBD phase often have a similar or even the same gray value, especially for the graphite anode, since the graphite active material and the CBD both consist mainly of carbon. So what can we do to solve this problem and to segment the CBD phase from the active material? In GeoDict 2021, we now have a solution. We added binder find to grain find. You may already know binder find from fiber find. So we now have trained new neural networks which are available in grain find to identify specifically the binder in anode and cathode materials. With GeoDict AI, you can even train your own neural network. So here in this example, for the graphite anode, the neural network has identified 5% CBD in the scan. And this exactly matches the manufacturing recipe. So we have proven that the neural network really identifies the binder correctly in the scan. So what's next? So now we have identified all the different material phases in the electrode. But to create a statistical digital twin, we have to do more. We need more information about the objects in the electrode. So the different grains, what size do they have and what orientation do they have? So we can run an analysis with grain find. Grain find identifies every single grain in the scan and gives you all the information you need about the different diameters of the grains, the sphericity, and the orientation in the structure. And with this information, we can go to GrainGeo in the next step and try to create our digital twin. For the graphite anode CT scan, GrainFind identified over 3,000 different grains with different grain size, sphericity, and orientation. And to stress the fact how important the binder identification beforehand was, we can have a look at this diagram. This diagram shows a comparison of the results GrainFind delivers if you either identify the binder beforehand or not. And as you can see, you get a totally different grain statistic. So now we have everything we need to create a statistical digital twin of the graphite anode using GrainGeo. But, of course, the twin must not just look alike the original structure. Even more important is that it shows the same physical and geometrical properties in the simulation. And here in this table, you can see that the properties for diffusivity, tortuosity, and the D50 value in GrainFind are just the same for the CT scan and the digital twin. Of course, this workflow does not only work for granular structures. As you all know, we are also offering FiberFind and FiberGeo for fiber structures. So here you can see an original micro-CT scan and a digital twin of a fuel cell GDL created by GeoDict. Combining the capability to generate fibrous structures and granular structures, you can build up the microstructure of a whole fuel cell. As you can see here, you can create the GDL with fiber and binder. You can create the structure of the catalyst layer with granular structure and an ionomer, and you can even image the microstructure of the proton exchange membrane. But back to our battery. We now have created the statistical digital twin for both the graphite anode and the NMC cathode. So with GeoDict, we can now resemble the whole microstructure of the battery. And then your next question just might be, okay, I have my battery, so what's next? And this is a very good question. Thank you for that. This brings me to the second point on the agenda. Quantitative simulation on large battery microstructures. As Eric already showed in his talk, we now have the Lear in BatteryDict. The Lear is much faster and consumes much less memory than the Best Micro, while it delivers just the same results than the Best Micro. You can see here a charging simulation with the Lear on a 1850-500 graphite NMC battery microstructure. There is no other simulation software which can give you such a detailed simulation on such a large microstructure. If you want to know more, please attend the next talk from Sven, who will give you more technical details about the Lear. And we added another great feature to BatteryDict. We now respect the porosity of the CVD phase in our simulations. For the battery microstructure on the left, we compare the charging simulation with porous binder and without porous binder. And as you can imagine, the porosity of the binder has a great effect on the ion flux during the simulation. And you can see that the blue curve, which gives the cell potential with porous binder, differs very much from the red curve, which gives you the cell potential without a porous binder phase during charging. So now our BatteryDict simulations are much more quantitative. Here Sven will give you more technical details in the next talk as well. The third point of the top 5 features is dedicated to the simulation of transport phenomena in batteries and fuel cells. An important topic for quantitative battery simulation is the anisotropy of ion diffusivity in materials like graphite. Because of its crystal structure, graphite has a dominant in-plane diffusivity. So here we take a look at the microstructure of a graphite anode and compare the relative diffusivity in DiffuDict either by respecting the anisotropic simulation or by using the old isotropic simulation. And as you can imagine, in the anisotropic case, the graphite grain orientation has a large influence on the simulation results compared to the isotropic simulation. So in GeoDict 2021, the simulation quality has largely improved. The Lear in DiffuDict is now able to respect the anisotropy. And of course, we are eager to expand this feature to BatteryDict in the next years as well. But we did not only improve in DiffuDict, but we improved in SATODict as well. You can see here the setup of a fuel cell. You can see the gas channel of the fuel cell and the underlying GDL with a binder phase. And now we start a SATODict simulation, which shows us how water actually permeates through the GDL and forms a single droplet in the gas channel. We can then expand the simulation by FlowDict to monitor the changes in gas flow that are inflicted by the intruding water. And last but not least, we can also simulate the transport of water molecules in the gas channel when the water molecules are evaporating and are transported by the gas flow in the channel. So the capability of SATODICT to simulate such a single droplet as an intermediate state of the simulation is new in GeoDict 2021. So these features will help you to optimize water management in a fuel cell. So I'm sure these simulations look very impressive to you, and you might ask yourself if this is hard to do. Well, of course you have to know a few things, but we made sure that you can learn all this easy and fast with GeoDict 2021. On our homepage, we offer 5 different self-learning tutorials. There is one tutorial which teaches you the basics of digital battery material design. And there's another tutorial which teaches you how to build a statistical digital twin of a cathode material, just as you have seen for the anode in the beginning of this talk. If you want to learn how to operate BatteryDict, then please take a look at the tutorial Optimizing Battery Charging by Varying the Binder Content. And if you want to learn how to optimize separator materials for batteries, then please take a look at the tutorial Digital Analysis of Battery Separator Structures. And finally, if you're interested in fuel cells, then please take a look at our tutorial Digital Analysis of Fibers and Binder Content of GDLs. This year we started to offer special online seminars as well. Please take a look at our homepage to learn when we offer such seminars. You can register and attend them for free and learn the very basics of GeoDict. The seminars are offered in English. In the last point of my agenda, I will talk about simulation of battery aging on the microscale. I will show you what is possible now with GeoDict, but it is an outlook in the future as well. At the moment, we are working in 2 publicly funded projects together with partners like Volkswagen and the ETH in Zurich. With both projects, we want to expand the capabilities of GeoDict in the future to be able to simulate battery aging on the microscale. While in the Structure E project, we work on simulating lithium plating and SEI formation, we focus in the SOLVE project on volumetric changes due to changes in the local lithium concentration during charging and discharging. In the SOLVE project, we already have a working alpha version of the development we envision. Here you can see the charging of a graphite NMC battery with the Blir. You can see in this visualization how the lithium concentration changes during charging and the lithium ions get transported from the cathode into the anode. But in reality, during charging, of course the microstructure of the battery will not remain static. In this case, the graphite will expand due to the lithium intercalating into the graphite active material. You can see this here in this video. So in the SOLVE project, we are starting to couple a charging simulation with the Blir to a field math simulation of the mechanical stress which is inflicted in the battery and changes the battery microstructure. In the next phase of the project, we will enable a full coupling which enables a real cycling of the battery, changing and altering the microstructure and visualizing aging effects caused by volumetric changes to you. In the next years, you will be able to run complex cycling protocols and digitally simulate battery aging, developing safe batteries with a high performance and fast chargeability. Please let us know if you're interested in becoming a beta tester for these new features. So with this, I'm already at the end of my talk. I thank you for your attention, and I hope I could give you a good overview of the new features in GeoDict 2021. Please feel free to ask me anything you like.